Welcome to the DA, the 2X King, leaders of the new regime, for hope and learning, the place you come for your 2X dream. And if you text for time, put it on that 2X lean. So let's break it down and show them what the 2X means. Let's go. Hello, my people. I don't know about the intro. We're still working on it. Could be tighter, could be poppier. I want something that, like, you hear it and you're just like, yeah, it's time to do it. It's time to get it today. You know, like when people hear that, see that, and you know, everyone's just like, all right, they about to get some work done, man. They about to do it. Hey. So anyway, hello, we are here again. I'm wearing the hoodie today. We're on the back porch for now, you know. Let's see how long we can get, that's gonna be the new thing. See how long you can get into the video before I gotta pause this thing and run over to the front porch, because hey man, we gotta let people have some space. They ain't gotta be all up in our business, you know, unless they wanna be. Then they can come to my channel, click the video, and watch the damn thing, you know. But yeah, the 2X King comes with being it's really my thing kind of hits pretty hard on 2X, you know, because I'll be having a little bit of jokes, a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of everything in between, some storytelling. So when you put that on 2X, it's just like, oh yeah, you're just getting it a whole lot faster. I'm good on 1X, but you know, I like it. I like the 2X. So that's me, the 2X King. So anyway, let's get down to business. Oh, pardon me if it's hard to see what's going on right now. I might have that ethereal glow, you know, that just comes from working on content when it isn't the next thing you're going to release. It's kind of amazing. That's right. Like, if you are reading or watching this now, it was made in the future of the present past. Ooh. Yeah. I'm sorry, but for some reason today my brain was blanked out as I began writing. Kind of like when you go up to talk to that cute girl and the first thing she does is let out a massive fart, you know? It's happened to the best of us, you know? Yeah, so you're watching a brain that's basically a brain fart in progress. Yeah. So this is a brain fart in the progress from the past. Oh. Alright. It's a crazy beautiful day to be alive. It's a bit chillier today than it has been. That's where I'm rocking the hoodie. So yeah, I guess the dream is kind of over. It was so beautiful, perfect weather. It feels like 70 to 80 in the day, and the night's not too bad, but it seems like we're getting close to those 55 days, you know, those 55, 60 days with the chill on it. So hey, we deal and we keep pushing forward. So I hope you're aware it's a beautiful day to be alive, and if you aren't aware, I'm just gonna keep saying it anyway, you know. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. Yeah. We're something like Beetlejuice combined with Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. See, we're just warming up here. For real though, I listened to a video last night where they were talking about manifestation. To me, manifestation always seemed like a kind of silly concept, but the way it was presented was one of the first times I actually felt it was pretty sound. There's the idea that thinking something already happened coupled with massive action towards that goal has some type of cosmic rhythm to it that allows you to kind of manifest your goal. So if you're doing something on the subconscious level as well as the physical level, it's more likely to reach fruition. The key is following the physical level so you don't get in a stuck state. I feel like the majority of people these days listen to a ton of informational content, but very few act on it. And so one of the tips I enjoyed was writing out the things you want to accomplish on a note card and carrying it with you wherever you go. And that way, just by touching the card whenever you put your hand in your pocket, you are subconsciously moving towards the task as it moves to the front of your mind just by the touch. And so, as I continue along this creative content journey, I find that just having your mission on your mind occasionally is a powerful tool for the growth of your focus and your imagination. All right, so that's enough of the free amazing insights for the day. Let's get into the free amazing story of growth and rebirth that I've been letting you in on day by day. So, yesterday we got to the end of middle school. Though there are a few things I still wanted to touch on from there, and today we were going to push into high school and however far we managed to get. So take the time to let it sink in like an ice cube in 40-degree weather, because that's what we're getting close to outside. Why is it so chilly, man? I liked it, man. I don't want to be wearing this, but except for rep this, you know what I'm saying? But that's anyway. Mainly the basketball team. But yeah. So, all right. I'm putting it out now. Let it sink in, because I might never talk about this again. I mean, eventually you'll have to deal with some silly biographer who's piecing everything I've said together from my reanimated AI talking head. That's no fun, unless it's like some type of Futurama stuff. That could be kind of fun. But anyway, before we get further into the past, let's go over the two things I was going to talk about. The main things were my first kiss and a group that really helped me understand more about the different aspects of kind of African American culture in like my community where I grew up. So these both happened around 7th grade. So for the first one, it was Halloween night, and I was gonna go trick-or-treating with my boy T around the neighborhood. He didn't live in the neighborhood. He lived off in the way. But so he had an idea while we were collecting candy. He was a bit more interested in something else because he had a friend who lived in my neighborhood and he wanted to hang out with her. So eventually we meet up with her, we'll call her L, and her friend. And I like instantly knew she wasn't like any girl that I'd ever met before, because most of the girls in my neighborhood were like calm, reserved, very like docile and such. But she had an energy. She was wild. She had that no fucks given energy. Like the calm suburban neighborhood we lived in was like the antithesis of her demeanor, like something that was completely stifling. So she wanted to escape and have fun and kind of control the energy of our crew when we were hanging out. It wasn't long before she wanted to go make out in the woods. And so like I didn't want to be no bitch, you know. So I was like, yeah, that's what we're doing. Yeah, so let's go. And so it's kind of hard to describe making out, but as a pointer to anyone who hasn't done it or does it a lot, or even just they just need to know, because they're fucking it up when they do it the wrong way. But you gotta take it slow. And so that's what we did. And for about 10 seconds or so, it might have been 20, that probably felt like a minute or an hour or something. I don't know. We're not saying it's an hour. I wasn't that caught up. It was more like it felt like it was about a minute though. But yeah. So we pulled away, and it was like so long that my boy T was like, damn, y'all seem to be having too much fun, man. You should get a room. So unfortunately, the night didn't end on a high note. As we continued to walk around, met up with a large group of neighborhood kids. One of the like tall alpha types felt like he wanted to call me out and try to clown me for not coming outside enough. And I'm just like, yo, you're the glaring example of why that's a waste of time. So, score. He didn't say much after that. He just laughed it off. But you know, hey, you know, we were killing them with the comebacks from a young age, man. From a young age. Next, we will keep it short. I joined this group called Jack and Jill through my mom's forced hand around 7th grade, because it was annoying a lot of times, because they try to make us put together these projects or like group work things for like this one time we go a year to the special conference with like all the groups around the area. And I did not like that part. But what I did like was meeting the different group of people. This was kind of my first experience with the purely African American group. Um, the group was made of kids from like decently successful families around the area. Um, it was a cool little variety. You had your more chill ones, you had your more like smooth, cool ones, and then you had your more like gangster, hard ones. Just like, damn, you wouldn't expect this kid or this dude to have that like that type of edge to him and still be in this type of group where it's like decently well-off families and stuff. But it was cool to just like see that the different differentiations. And I'd say like one of the most interesting things about African Americans that kind of differentiates them from other races in this country is probably that freedom of style mixed with the fluidity to like push that. So it kind of, I feel like there's just more of that don't give a fuck energy that allows African Americans to kind of find their own place mixed with a wild culture that kind of pushes us to in many different inspirational ways when it comes down to like music and storytelling. And depending on how deep you go into history, it's just so much to look into. But it's kind of covered up by the Americanized version of what a black person's supposed to be. So I'm not too cool with that, but we'll go much deeper into that one in the future. Like that one deserves a whole video. But anyway, let's move on. So we start high school, and I was pretty worried about what I had in store, and it all came to be a bit of a fact on the first day, as I had upperclassmen come by like asking for the teachers I had before telling me that I'm fucked. They had a point, because I definitely hadn't cultivated the study habits necessary for getting good grades in a few classes. Mainly because I refused to do homework still, because I had some Diablo 2 or Warcraft 3 to play, man. God forbid you're still doing homework when the parents get home too. I mean, like, we humans don't like to show our struggles if we can avoid it, because it's much more important. Well, we don't want to do it if we can avoid it, even though it's one of our most endearing moments to each other, because it's too important for us to keep up on our mask of public delusion. So anyway, the key factor to my freshman year, other than struggling in biology and geometry, was that I started to come into my own as a person. And I was finally a funny guy who could get along with pretty much anyone, no matter the race. I started to feel comfortable in my own skin. And but I still suffered from a lack of confidence. I had my black friend group, I had the white friend group, I had the mixed group. And it's interesting how things were still a bit stratified despite living in one of the most multicultural regions in the country. My high school demographics were about 40% Caucasian, 30% African American, 20% Hispanic, and 10% Asian. And this was my first time going to a truly diverse culturally school, and still managed to get along with people of all kinds. The Hispanic part is kind of interesting, because 6 years later, by the time that my younger brother was going to the school, it had shot up to 40%, and like everybody else was the minority. But that's another topic for a different day. I do want to touch on something that I didn't write down that happened my very first day of school, that also started to like tell me this was a whole different world. But we ain't even going to talk about it today. We gonna talk about it tomorrow. So now you got something to look forward to. Anyway, my sophomore year, I joined the football team and also had my first girlfriend. So this was probably the first time I really encountered imposter syndrome. I joined the team because my older brother and my dad liked football. And I played the video games a little bit, and I thought it would help my popularity here and maybe get me into some type of shape. Um, I had no idea about the game when I joined, even telling the coaches I wanted to play secondary, not knowing that that was a position group and not an actual position. So you can't play secondary. You got to choose something. Are you going to be a corner? Or are you going to be a safety? And so I ended up playing wide receiver because I was debatably fast, and I'd shown an aversion to hitting. Though that was probably mainly because I didn't have enough days of practice when we first started to start padded practice with everyone else. So they were just a step ahead on that. And while I didn't excel on the field, I would recommend joining the football team to any high school kid. I don't care, boy, girl, whatever. I think it's even cool for like girls to kind of like see that side of things. Even if you just gotta like be the kicker or something, it's still a pretty cool atmosphere. And I'm not sure how much girls get the chance to do that big like 50-person plus squad thing. Like you could do field hockey or softball or volleyball, but you're still never gonna get over like 20-ish people on a team, which really makes football kind of special because it's the peak level of camaraderie that you will find when you're with a successful squad of individuals with the same goal. That's one of the top, like the peak experiences you can find in humanity. So that's pretty great, especially when your team happens to go undefeated and have a bunch of epic games that I mainly cheered on from the sideline. But it's not all my fault. The coaches, they didn't really put too much into developing the players who weren't starters. Like nobody pretty much had a playbook except for the starters. And so while I didn't play that much in game time, I did have a lot of time playing on the practice field, which definitely helped toughen me up a lot because I'm lining up against the starters to play defense against their superior offense. So that was fun, tough, and had some great little group opportunities that are hard to find in the world. So I would recommend you try to find opportunities like that as you grow. I also broke my pinky finger on my left hand a few games into the season, and even though the team nurse said it was just sprained, it was broke, so that also didn't really help for my progression as a football star. As for the first girlfriend, she was definitely attracted to me. We'll give her, what's her name? What was her name? Why can't I remember her sister's name. Her sister, I hit it off with her sister, except we never met in person, but like that was chemistry. But her name was I don't care. We're just gonna call her K for now, because unfortunately I have a fatal attraction to girls with the name K, even though that wasn't her name. It's kind of crazy. I can't remember it right now. I want to say it started with the M or an N, but anyway, let's go. Yeah, she was probably like, she definitely had some attraction to me because I was like a football player, and she knew that coming into the school because she was the incoming freshman and I was a rising sophomore. And so we also worked at the same summer camp, and I can't even remember how we originally met, but somehow I had her number and we were talking on the phone before we even met in person at summer camp. Maybe it was like a previous session, we just spotted each other or something. But anyway, we started talking and basically became kind of girlfriend, boyfriend before even starting the school year. And I remember the first time we met, she was kind of thrown off because I seemed pretty shy. Like I was shy because I didn't really know how to deal with women at all at that point, and I was scared to do anything wrong. And little did I know that my fear was exactly what I was doing wrong. So after the first football game, we're like in, entrenched together, or like wrapped up. I'm really sucking for words right now, but you know what I mean. We were hugging, and we hugged probably for like about an hour, because whoever was supposed to pick us up was taking too damn long. And I knew I wanted to kiss her, but I couldn't bring myself to kiss her because I didn't know how to like initiate. Like, I wanted her to look up into my eyes, but she just had her head on my shoulder the whole time, and we were just like holding, like, I mean, maybe I was supposed to push her a bit away, pull her chin up, and just go at it. Oh wait, I definitely was supposed to do that. And she was ready, but I had no idea. The signs were all there, but like, as a young kid, he don't know any better. And that's one of the things I feel like women kind of get shafted a bit because of how slow dudes mature, to the point where even going into the mid to late 20s, y'all are still kind of screwed with your choices for dudes. You either got the dudes who have like been running things, or the dudes who still have no idea. And like, you don't really want to deal with either of those, because it's either way, it's not a great time at that point. Every once in a while you might find that like perfect dude who's just like on his come up and still smooth and cool, and I look for that for you. But it's a hard world out here, so we gotta deal with what we can get. But anyway, we dated for a week or two into the school year, and then we would meet up in the library every day before class, which was kind of appropriate considering how tame we were compared to like what happened next when she broke up with me. I was very confused, but then like a couple days later, I heard about her having sex in a bathroom with some dude after school, and things like started to click. I don't hold anything against her. She was wild, young, chasing experience, while I had no idea what she wanted. And so, like, whose fault is that? Who knows? The lesson I learned, though, is it's always important for the guy to kind of set the tone as far as pushing forward, but also really following the girl's hints at the same time, and always being willing to like switch up if you have to. If she says no or pulls away, you got to be able to read it and react and kind of move along, because it's rarely a yellow brick road that you're walking, but it's more often a roller coaster. But if you can read the curves, you can still have a good time. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, anyway, I was hoping to get all the way through high school today, but alas, my time is up. This is good though, because we get something nice tomorrow. We get my first experiences with drugs. We get to go back to that beginning of the freshman year and talk about a couple really wild things that kind of help like shape a bunch of people at the school's mindset as far as going forward. And we also get to maybe transition into college. So I hope that you look forward to it. Till next time, be easy.